I'm Cole Burkeen, the newly elected chair of the Tillamook County Democratic Party, and I don't have the training in journalism. I don't have the experience and discipline as a writer that Fred Bassett, the previous chair, did, or the just the long experience with writing that Mary McGinnis, the interim chair, did. I just agonize over every word. And so it just takes me a long time to write things like that. So sometimes I suspect I might be doing this Chair's Corner update like this. Just saves a little time. So just wanted to give you an update that this past week in Tillamook County Democratic Party it's been quite a week. Big part of it has revolved around deliberations, quite a process, quite a rewarding and amazing amount of involvement from our precinct committee people in the process that we went through in drafting and then sending an open letter to Representative Kurt Schrader regarding his lack of support, lack of commitment for voting for the Build Back Better bill in Congress right now. It's sometimes referred to as full reconciliation bill, which basically represents the heart of President Biden's agenda. And if you haven't read that letter, hope you will. There is quite a thing behind it, and I'm really proud of our county party organization for having done that. I've been to a bunch of committee meetings this week. Fundraising, the F&E committee, fundraising and events, has decided that November is going to be fundraising month, and so we're going to be doing a lot of focus on that. There's going to be a little strategy session happening next week to kind of work out the details of exactly what that means, but I think it's time, and that's going to be kind of exciting. We need a fundraising chair. I kind of got my eye on one person, but he said no before. So if you know someone else, I'm probably going to ask him again, but he'll probably say no again. If you know someone else who might be willing to step up and lead our fundraising efforts, man, we surely need that. But in the meantime, we do have willing hands. That's always been, or as long as I've been involved with Tillamook County Democratic Party, those willing hands have always been there, and sure appreciate it. Communications committee has, as always, just been so much activity. It's hard to even characterize what's going on there, but what that committee apparently will be working on in the coming month will be videos, lots of little videos to help explain things that are mysterious but shouldn't be mysterious, and how to do things, and like what is a PCP and what's the difference, what will be the difference between a PCP and a neighborhood leader. That's the exciting thing really that's happening in the membership committee, where really that's I think where my own passion is here for the next little while, is at least is in helping get that neighborhood leader program up and running. Kathleen Marvin, Andrea Goss, Ben Higgins are doing some exciting work. That's going to be kind of where the action is in our county party organization. I would guess for a while, for the next year or so. And I think you're gonna, if you're willing to sign up to be a neighborhood leader, I think you'll enjoy doing it. The ask is just, will you contact the 35 Democratic households in your neighborhood? We'll give you the list and little map, and give you some alternate ways. You can text or send postcards or make phone calls or knock doors if you're willing, if you're able to be COVID safe and know that you're neighbors are not going to take offense at that. But whatever way works for you, the idea is to introduce yourself to the 35 Democratic Party households, basically the 35 registered Democrats who live nearest to you, and just say, I'm the Democratic Party neighborhood leader in this area. I want to introduce myself to you. Ask if there's anything that the party can do for you. We don't have any ask of you at this point. But just want you to know that there are Democrats around you, and I'm one of them, and I want you to have my contact information. So that's basically the message when you introduce yourself as a neighborhood leader. And the membership committee is responsible for all that and doing great work. The infrastructure committee is, or I guess it's called an ad hoc committee, is experimenting with something called Slack. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. It may be something that you will come to love at some point. I certainly do. We're also going to be rolling out tilcodems.org email addresses soon. If you'd like to have one of those, if you have a position in the party, and it would be useful to you to have a tilcodems.org email address, let us know. Next on my list will be to meet with the Legislative Committee and the Elections Committee, where we really we need more people. We need involvement there because we have a lot of work for those committees to do. It would have been, there's so much that's been happening in the last week that we needed the Legislative Committee. They're analyzing, I barely understand the difference between HR 3 and the Build Back Better, agenda and the reconciliation bill and all this kind of stuff. If we had people who were focused on that, at the congressional level, and a whole bunch of similar kinds of things at the state level, that we need to understand, but we can't all understand everything. We can't all keep track of everything. We need people to help us, by being liaisons and focusing on particular pieces of legislation and how that affects us, and when do we need to start paying attention, when do we need to start making phone calls, that kind of thing. And of course, the Elections Committee will be hopefully a lot like what Bev Stein and Mary McGinnis and a bunch of people from all over the county were involved in this last spring, but working on that again in the for the upcoming election season, and we'll need a lot of people involved there. So a lot happening. If you're interested in getting involved or just willing, sometimes work for the Democratic Party can be a little, it can be a little tiresome, a little bit thankless, but it's important. And if you're willing, we can put you to good use. And I think you'll find that the people make up for, some of the drudgery involved. I know there is some, but the people sure are good to work with. So that went on a little too long. Try to make it shorter next time if I do it this way again next time. Thanks for listening to this.